Hello, everyone. Welcome back to from your summer to another year here at Tenor High School. My name is Alex. I am going to be your teacher. For many of you, it will be different classes. I teach American government, street law, personal finance, and sociology. So, I prepared this presentation just to introduce you to me and then hopefully explain to you what I would like for you guys to do for me to get to know you. So we'll start off with just a little about me. Normally, of course, we would do this in person, but of course, it's unfortunate that we can't be together. So we'll talk about me, what I did this summer, and then we're going to talk about just some classroom policies, things that I want you guys to know about how I teach and how I run my classroom, whether it's virtually or in person, if that happens this year. And then explain to you what I'd like for you guys to do for me on your first day. So that is a picture of my wife and I. So as I stated already, my name is Alex Funk. Yes, I do have a very unique last name. I don't mind if you call me Alex, Al, Funk, Mr. Funk, whatever you want to do. If you want to create your own nickname for me, I'm fine with that as long as it's respectful. I have no problem. I've heard every variation of my last name: Funkmaster, Funkmaster Flex, Funky, Funkster, whatever you feel comfortable calling me, I am fine with, as long as it's respectful. And like I said, I'm going to be your teacher this year. I teach 10th and 11th grade. This is my 9th year starting at Tenor High School. For many of you, I've probably taught your brothers and sisters by now. It's one thing I love about this school is I get to know families, not just students. So if I've taught one of your students, please drop me a line, or if I taught one of your family members, please drop me a line. I always like to hear what students that I've taught in the past are doing right now. Also, I've loved every single minute teaching here at Tenor. I'm a big booster of the school. I love my job. I have a lot of passion and enthusiasm that hopefully comes out in the way I teach. Whether it's virtual or in person, I try to make a point of communicating to you that I love being here, and I hope that you see that. So just a few other things about myself. I have 2 cats, Otis and Zelda. Yes, Zelda is named after Princess Zelda of video game fame. I am an avid board gamer, and by avid board gamer, I kind of mean obsessive. So my wife and I play many games. We have a library of board games, I'm not lying, in our basement of probably around 400 board games. So if you like doing those things, tell me what your favorite board games are in Google Hangouts or on the classroom page. I'd happily nerd out with you. Another thing that many of you know is I am obsessed with all things comic book related. You have, of course, the Spider-Man symbol right up there. I have a Spider-Man tattoo on my arm, as well as a Silver Surfer tattoo on my upper arm. It's a lifelong thing. I constantly am reading comic books, so if you want to talk comic books, anything, I've seen most of the movies. I'm not as big of a movie person as I am actually reading the comic books, but I certainly would love to talk to you about those things. Lastly, I am a proud Milwaukeean. I was born and raised here in Milwaukee, right on the south side. Probably some of you would have been my neighbors growing up. So I grew up right on about 11th and Lincoln. Went to a small Catholic school on the south side, then went to Milwaukee Hamilton. For my freshman, sophomore year, graduated from Milwaukee Riverside, and I'm a proud graduate of UW Milwaukee. I've built my life here, love the city, and teaching is one way that I like to give back to the city that I think helped make me who I am. I am also a Milwaukee sports fan. So as you can see, I do love the Brewers. I'm a baseball and basketball fan first, so of course the Bucks. And then lastly, I'm a football fan, and I'm definitely a Packers fan. So if you want to talk sports, I love talking sports. One thing that's not up here that is another fun fact is I'm a big music lover. I'm a nerd with a lot of things, especially things I'm interested in. I'm a big music nerd. I love pretty much everything and anything. If you have music recommendations, I'd love to hear them. I certainly have some recommendations that I could kick your way. So if you just want to chat, set up a time with me and we can just talk about music. I would love that. It's a good way to get to know people. Let me know. So moving on, just a few things I did this summer. probably like a lot of you, I didn't really do anything this summer. Um, I did read a lot. So you see over here on the left is a picture of all of the books I'm reading currently. I have this bad habit of not being able to read one book at a time. Right there is probably about 10 books at a time. Another thing that I picked up this year is a hobby painting miniatures. It's exactly what it sounds like. So these are tiny little miniatures, just probably about bigger than an inch. And you take this tiny little brush and try to get in the details. So this is a board game that we have called Marvel Crisis Protocol that my wife and I, we face off playing as the Marvel heroes. Again, I'm a huge nerd. And then right over here, that's my wife again. That's us with another one of our many board game nights. And that's pretty much been my summer, other than taking the occasional nap and going for walks. Like many of you, it was kind of one of those summers that felt a little trapped. I'm glad to be back and be here with you guys, even if it's virtually. So moving along. So now we get to the maybe not so fun stuff. Some classroom policies. So this goes whether we're virtual or we are in person. I have 6 rules that I'm going to give you guys. I like to keep it simple. The first rule is kind of an overarching rule. It applies to all of these things. And it sounds kind of unprofessional, but the big thing is don't be a jerk. I think in general, we won't have any problems if you treat everybody with kindness and empathy and a basic level of respect. So before you do something stupid, whether it's online or in the classroom, ask yourself, would a jerk do that? If a jerk would do it, don't do it. If you have any questions about that policy, you're a little confused by it, again, talk to me. This next one is going to be very important because we're learning virtually, is be proactive. If you know you're going to miss a session that's in person, which we'll talk more about in each specific class, how that's going to work, just let me know, and let me know beforehand, not after, if possible. Obviously, if you have a connection issue you might not have foreseen, then please email me at your earliest convenience. But if you know something's coming up and it's going to conflict and it's going to be a regular thing, be proactive. Let me know so that we're not butting heads right out the gate. The next thing is just a good advice for life. Be engaged. So when you're present in one of our virtual or in-person, I expect you to be engaged. I expect you to, and that might not mean talking all the time. It may just mean active listening, showing me through your body language and what and your questions and concerns that you are actually thinking about what we're talking about. Over here, big thing is I want you to be critical. We're in the social studies. One of my biggest responsibilities is to teach you guys to think critically. I sometimes will share my point of view on things, very rarely. I like to keep you guys guessing about my politics and things like that. But we are heading into an election season, so you might have a lot of questions about what you see in the world. And I want you to respond to all of these things, even some things that I'm teaching you, with a critical mind, meaning don't just accept it at face value, dig deeper. Another thing is be open-minded. You're going to be listening and learning a lot of different things this year. And I just want you to keep an open mind to these ideas. One of my big missions is to have you guys, by the time you leave for your time at MATC, is to have a good idea of what you believe and know why you believe it. And then lastly is I want you to be empathetic. What that means is really try to see the world from other people's point of view and know how your actions may affect other people. If you follow these things, I think we're going to get along just fine. I really don't see it being an issue. I know you guys are amazing. So the very last thing, I want to hear from you guys. So on the classroom page that hopefully you have signed up for, if not, please contact me at your earliest convenience. I've posted a Google form. On that Google form, I really want you to respond to the questions that I have. So it's nothing difficult, trust me. It's stuff that I think you're going to enjoy filling out. I want to get to know you, and I don't want to just get to know you as a student. I want to get to know you as a person. So I've provided some links to share some interests that you have, music, pop culture. If you're not into that, I got books, I got things like that. I can talk about anything with you guys. So it's really not academic. I also do have some stuff in there for me to get to know you as a student, so that if you have some concerns, maybe you need some adjustments, learning virtually that I haven't thought of, that's going to be your time to share that with me. So that's all I have for you for this. As I said, there's probably some more specific stuff on your Google Classroom page. Pay attention to that. You're going to get used to my voice and seeing my face quite a bit. I plan on posting a lot of videos. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you anytime that you need. Thanks. Love you guys.